this water in the morning.
Welcome to Scars Can Talk. I'm Kendrick J.
I'm Mama J.
And I'm Darrington Jones.
So this is our first edition of Scars Can Talk Online, right? Episode number 1 of doing this online. You know, I'm so excited about this because this opened up doors to a different avenues, right? We can do big things doing this online. And I'm excited about it because we can bring people online that's, that may not be where we at. So I think this is just another opportunity to kind of spread our wings a little bit. I'm excited about Scars Can Talk Online.
Excited. New adventure, new journey, different outlook. I'm ready for the concept, man. I'm ready.
I'm ready for the growth.
Yeah. So today we're going to do something a little different. I mean, we've done it before, which is talking about different topics I feel like that is necessary to be discussed, right? Important topics, right? Scars Can Talk always giving fruit. We always giving fruit, always giving news that people can use, and that's what we're about. So we just got a few topics that we want to discuss and give our outtake on these topics and see what our viewers think about that. Don't forget to comment in regards to these topics. Tell us how y'all feel about what we're talking about. Share your thoughts on these topics and comment. We'll respond. Right. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
Get into it.
Let's go.
So, this first topic is what is love, right? And when I think about what is love, I remember when Darrington Jones was on the episode that we did a few weeks ago, and we talked about what would you give somebody that's in addiction, right? What would you offer somebody in addiction? And your response was love, right? And I kind of want to elaborate on that because I think it's important to know that there are different types of love, right? And you kind of got to adjust how you love someone according to who you're dealing with. Exactly. You can't give everybody the same type of love. Right?
Not at all. Not at all.
I think in a lot of situations that we forget that there's a such thing as tough love.
Yeah.
And because when you say love, for some reason, I feel like a lot of people automatically think like soft, showing compassion, being very gentle on your approach when you think love. But love can be tough. Love can be tough. I guess what I'm saying is there's a certain type of love to where I love you so much to make you go through this so you can learn.
Yeah.
Right. Or I love you so much that I know that the only way for you to grow is for me to love you this way. Yeah. Right. Which may seem hard on the individual, that because a lot of people don't understand that. So it may seem hard, but I love you so much that I'm willing to do whatever it takes for you to be successful and grow. So that may mean, making you do things or making you be self-sufficient, right? Not feeding you, and figuratively, right? Making your pillow soft, right? Giving you a hard pillow to lay on, So I believe when you say, because I remember you saying that, Darrington, and I don't want people to take that out of context, right? Because especially dealing with addicts, right? When you're dealing with an addict, it's a certain type of love depending on, because all addicts not the same. I know they say that, but they not.
You're right.
So depending on who you're dealing with, the way that you handle them, the way that you love them may have to be different. You may have to love on them from a distance, right? And then you have other people that you can kind of be, closer to them and more charismatic and come with a softer approach, and it may work. But I think when it comes to love, you have to know who you're dealing with and how to adjust your love for it can be beneficial. Because you don't want to love someone so much to where it prevents them from growing.
You're right. You're right. Um, as far as with that, when I kind of came off with that understanding of love, and I think it's all based on the circumstance. You have to understand the circumstance and then understand the person. Now, when you referenced that question to me initially, it was based off addiction. So, from a person that's coming from addiction, my understanding of love will be a little bit more understanding because I've been there. So I think it's fully based on the circumstance and the person itself to kind of know how to direct that type of love, because it has to come in that angle. And like you said, everybody can't receive the exact same type of love because everybody's different. But due to that circumstance, because we're familiar with it, then I'm able to give that type of compassion towards that in order to seek the problem and actually rectify it. That's how I was looking at it.
Yeah, that's good.
So as far
Mama
as
J?
Mama, from your understanding, would you project that love? Would it be in the same manner, or would it be more of a guiding type of sense?
I think from a mother perspective, it would be more from a guiding perspective. Uh, whew,
Okay.
yeah, because this is good. Being that I am a mother of two
Hmm.
sons that that battled and struggled with addiction,
Yeah.
and you really it really take you down through there for a mother to, because we as a mother we always want to protect our children, and sometimes
Hmm.
protecting is not protecting.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes what we see as protecting our children, our sons and daughters that's in addiction, is not always the case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you
Yeah. And
know
Mm-hmm.
that's real good. That's real good. I
so
think when it comes down from that perspective, I think people kind of take that love as being perceived as enabling, and it could be looked upon that way.
Yeah.
I've experienced it a lot, but then again, you have to kind of start thinking for that person to kind of know what is too much and what is too little.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that not enough might be what is needed, as opposed to that too much. That too much could be enabling the process in full effect.
Yes.
So that is true. My mother kind of
Yeah.
did that with me a lot. It was like to a point to where, like, what, Darrington, you can't drink in the house, but you can drink outside on the porch. She didn't take the drinking away. She just kind of displaced it somewhere else.
right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't resolving the issue. It was allowing me to know the limits and how far I can take it and cannot take it, which is not rectifying my addiction, but just placing a limit on it. So it's not curing it, it's pacifying it. So that's good stuff. That's real good
That's
stuff.
good. That's real good. I'm gonna say one more thing about this. If it didn't get as bad as it got for me, I'll still be drinking today. Right. So what I'm saying is, you have to
Of
love them
course, we me and
enough
you
to
both.
let it get bad. Right. You have to love them enough to let it get bad enough for them to want to change. Right. For them to want to surrender.
Yeah.
So because if it didn't
Yeah.
get as bad as it got, I'll still be drinking today.
You're
Yeah.
right. Me and you both, man. Me and you both.
Yeah, and it took me a long time, many years, to to let go of my oldest son, that's still battling with his addiction, and it got to
Yeah.
the point, uh, I just had to say no more. I'm
Yeah.
done. That is
Yeah.
really hard,
Yeah.
really difficult for a mother to just say no more and really mean it, because I've said no more many times, and I continue to allow him to come back in the house, and just
Yeah.
trying to give him shelter, and you know uh, that was my way of being able to pour into him, thinking that I could save him, thinking that he would listen. But when a person is in their addiction, they don't feel your pain. They don't feel the mother's pain and the children pain that they're taking them through. They
Yeah.
just, because I, I I'm just gonna say this. I believe the drug just numb them from feeling anybody else's pain. They don't,
Yeah.
um, and that's, I think that's one of the things that really bothers me, because I give so much. I gave so much of my life to that. Trying to steer my sons in the right direction, and wanting them to be better men, and wanting them to to overcome that themselves. And
Yeah.
as a mom, you think, oh, they can do it. I had a
Yeah.
grandmother. My grandmother was an alcoholic, and I understand everybody is not able to do this. My grandmother was an alcoholic, and one day she just decided that I'm done. And
Yeah.
she was finished. She never went to any AA meetings. She never went through any, you know, addiction programs. She never did. She missed her daughter's graduation, and this was her reason for stopping drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
She missed her daughter's graduation, and that was her breaking point. That was her rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I say to every mother out there that's dealing with a child that's battling an alcohol addiction or a drug addiction, you know, you don't give up. You don't throw in the towel. You don't stop
Yeah.
praying. You know, but you do have to, pump the brakes. You
Of
do
course.
have to, cut there has to be some limitations to the madness.
You're so right. I just want to just add to that, which is great that you kind of explain how love is so tangible. I like how you explained that because I did just a little homework on it. Like I told you I would, Kendrick. So the types of love that are put out there, you have four types that I came across. You have eros love, Eroos, which is romantic, passionate, physical, and attraction. You have filial love, which is deep, loyal friendship and companionship. You have storage love, which is natural family love, affection between parents and children. And then you have agape love, which is unconditional self-giving charity and universal compassion for others. So different people kind of fall in different aspects mentally when
Yeah,
that addiction kind of sets in. The thing
yeah.
is kind of trying to know which part of love have they fell in, where did that part of love lack that you kind of got to know to kind of retrieve. And you were speaking on the love of missing the graduation, things of that nature. That was a different type of love that affected her differently to be like, hey, you know what? I got to cut this off because this storage love is what I lacked. And this is what helps me to be the person that I am. That was good stuff. No, real good stuff. So it's good to just know what part of love that the person is lacking to kind of know what to help build them on.
That's good. That's real good. Man, I want to stay on love so much because we can go so far on this topic, and I think it's a very great topic to have.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, love is such a crazy thing because everybody have their own way of loving, right? And
Yeah.
somebody may not understand your way of loving
Yeah.
because everybody love their own type of way, right? So like you have some people who look at the things that they do, right? And they like, I do this because I love you. But
Yeah.
then you have some people who look at it like, um, I don't. I don't care about the things that you're doing. I want you to physically show me, physically tell me, tell me I
Yeah,
love you. They more verbal. They want to hear it.
yeah,
So love is such a broad topic to have, and we can go so many different directions with the topic love. This is a question I have for the panel. When it comes to love, because I hear people say, "Don't tell me, show me."
yeah,
Is it important to communicate what love means to somebody that you're married to, somebody that you dating? Because, like I said, what me showing love, that's love to me. This is showing love to me. I'm doing things to express my love. But to the individual that I'm with or that I'm dating, it may be something totally different, right? So there may be a
yeah,
misunderstanding on what love is. So now there's a conflict because I'm thinking by doing these things,
yeah,
I'm showing you love, and you're not, and it's not being received the same, and it may cause a conflict.
yeah.
So
Okay.
how important is it to
Mama.
communicate what love is to you, and not only express that to the other person, but understand what love is to them?
I think it's very important. I think it's necessary to express love. Now, as Darren ex, Darrington explained, there's different levels of love. You love your husband and your wife. There's a different love there versus loving a boyfriend or loving um, your kids and so forth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um, it's necessary because I mean I want both. I want
yeah,
you to be
yeah,
not only told that you love me, but it's very important to be shown that you love
Yeah.
yeah,
me, and I think it's as equally to give that back.
Hmm.
yeah,
You know, um, you show love. Uh, People show love in different ways.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think as a woman, we show love in our home. You know, doing things that need to be taken care of as a wife.
hmm,
There's expectations that your husband have of you as a wife,
yeah,
and every woman should know what those expectations are.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And
Um,
same thing for your children. You love. I hear, used to hear, my family say, you make difference in raising kids. You don't do this. I say, well, they, yeah, there's going to be difference. You don't treat all your children the same because all of them behave differently. One may, have this issue, and one they just different. So
Yeah.
it's not that you love them differently. You gonna treat them differently because every child is different.
Okay. That's a very good point. Back to that relationship aspect of love that you were speaking on, because I have a significant other that I stay with, and we're raising Jordan, and I want to say the expectations have kind of changed a little bit
Oh yes, most
from how it used to
definitely.
be, and I want to be the person that kind of picks at the controversial aspect of love right now, and I'm saying that to say that some people kind of take love and look at it as a validation point. Are they trying to be validated for it to be heard and felt, as opposed to recognize the silent motions that are being taken care of? For instance, if my significant other cooks, that's a sign of love. She's loving on her family. She wants them to be fed, things of that nature. Now, how do I reciprocate that love that is being given back? You know what? I'm gonna wash the dishes. Now, I might not verbally say, "Hey, baby, that was a great meal," but stepped outside of myself and I'm gonna wash the dishes for her, which shows an appreciation. Now, does that make my love invalid because it's quiet? It wasn't verbal? Or does it make it more stand on something when I tell you, hey, baby, I love you for doing that. It was a great meal. This, then, the third. The validation, I guess, depends on the person and how is that being taken. Because you can take that and have a great night and lay down as if everything was just fine, but then you might get that cold side of the pillow from baby because you didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So where does it fall? You know?
That's really good. That's good. That's some good stuff, man. We can talk on and on and on in regards to that. But let's move to our next topic, which y'all know I love this topic right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so negative mindset versus positive mindset. So I always talk to the guys back in Nehemiah about mindset. I'm real big on the mindset, right? And I
Right.
was actually just showing my dad this video of a funny salesman. I want to be cleaning everybody's shoes, and
Yeah.
he was saying, if you think you can do it, you right, and
Yeah.
if you think you can't do it, you right, because that's your mindset, right?
Of course. Of
so
course.
so and that's exactly right. That's exactly right. On my platform, I said before on one of my videos, no one ever achieved anything for thinking negative. People don't become doctors by thinking they're not going to become a doctor.
Yeah.
People don't make it to the NBA by thinking they're not going to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
The people always talk about somebody trying to hold me back. People trying to hold me back. The only person that can hold you back is you. And 9 times out of 10, the only person that be holding you back is you.
Pow.
That's right.
Say, man. That third, man, as far as with the whole thinking aspect, it's a touchy subject, man, because um, I think people don't take the time out to think before they react when it comes down to a lot of things because it's that impulse. And it may not be the impulse on how I may feel like I want to come out. It's how I may feel like I want other people to see me come out.
Mhm.
So now I'm taking away from me and I'm giving the power to the others around me for what I want them to see. So now that positive thinking isn't there anymore. The thought was great, but I didn't think about it. That kind of takes a toll on a lot of people nowadays. And I want to say go back to the discussion we had before when it come down to the distractions. You got social media, you got this, that, and the third, to where yeah, it can distort a person's internal thinking because it's like, yeah, I do want to achieve that, I do want to get to that point, but what does it take to get to that? That mental capacity, that mental capacity has to be strong enough to kind of endure everything that is going to work. So as soon as you think negative, will it take you all the way off the drawing board, or will you think positive in the midst of a negative situation to allow you to keep pressing forward? That all depends on the person and how far that they want to achieve something. But the people around you can't change that narrative. What you think about that,
Yeah.
Mo?
Wow. Um, Negative thinking. It it could take your purpose in life and cause you to not ever achieve your purpose.
Hmm.
Um, Ooh, I really try to, uh, you know, I guess not wanting to deal with people that are so negative. But then I ask the question, why? Because, sometimes life take us down a path, whether it could be um things that we deal with on our job, and you got terminated from your,
Mm-hmm.
your employer for a reason that you felt that was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you are in a abusive relationship,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just the hardship of life,
Yeah.
causes people, take a toll
Yeah.
on your mental, in which has a very, very uh, impact on how you think about you.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for somebody that's having problems, hardship, marriage problem, kids, cutting up, and uh, to stay negative. I mean, to stay positive. Excuse me. I get that, but do you have a right to reflect that on someone else?
No, not at all. I don't feel no. Um, I don't feel that you have the right to do so. Um, and just to go back to the topic, you spoke on negative thinking and positive thinking. Before we get to the negative and positive aspect of it, I was just looking something up real quick. I want to look up the definition of thinking first. Because before
That's
you can
good.
go to either side, let's know what thinking means. The
Yeah.
definition that looked up, it states is using your mind to process information, form
Mhm.
ideas, solve problems, and make decisions and or reason. Um, I think before you can have a mental process about something to allow it to be negative or positive, you first need to know how to think. Let's start from the ground.
That's right.
If you don't
Yes.
know how to think first, then you can't even allow yourself to even fall on the positive or the negative because your rationality is off in the first place. Um, and I think that kind of takes a role on everything that we see around us. Just like how you were speaking
Hmm.
on just being around negative people and having to reflect on if a job made a decision for this, that, and the third. I think I try to go into things knowing and realizing whatever the bad is in that situation to know what to expect so that I can allow myself to think on a positive aspect anyway. I go into a job thinking, you know what, something may be off, something may be wrong. You know what, I probably didn't do this right, and I apply so much negative pressure on me so that I can come with a positive thought process back from what I hear. And I think some people kind of live into that fantasy world that everything is so good and everything is going well, to where when something negative does happen, they don't know how to think about it because they don't even give it a thought process.
Hmm.
I think you kind of got to give a bad notion to people as they're growing, just so they can know how to relate to it. Otherwise, when it does approach, they don't know how to go about it, because they never experienced it. It's like I've never got told, no, I've never got my hand popped. So now when life does pop my hand, how do I react to it? I don't know, you
Yes,
That's
know?
good. That's good
yes,
stuff.
and also I think people tend to, feed so much into the negativity than focus on a solution.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's
which
that's
would be the positive of coming out of that negative mindset.
exactly,
You have to
exactly.
you have to be, willing to change the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to speak on the enemy real quick because shout out to Solace. Me and Solace just had a conversation about
Yes,
something similar,
sir.
similar to this last week, and I was telling Solace that the enemy, the enemy would trick you out of your spot. The
Yeah.
enemy will have
Yes,
you
it will.
hating something that you prayed for. So,
Mm,
so I had to,
that's good.
I had to check myself, right?
Yeah.
Because I started getting to the point to where I started nitpicking at everything in my job, right?
Yeah.
And it was like I was finding reasons to complain about my job and things that I don't like and this and this. I don't know if I'm gonna be here long. And then I was just sitting at my desk one day and I started thinking, I prayed for this opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prayed for this opportunity, and here it is. God blessed me with it, and now I'm finding everything that I can that's wrong with it. That's negative thinking. I
Yeah.
don't care what you do. If you think you'll find negative anything, if you have a negative mindset, it can be the
Exactly.
best opportunity in the world.
Yeah.
So just sitting here thinking,
That is
I said, if you keep thinking negative, that'll give you something else negative to think about.
Exactly. So true.
so true.
Say, you kind of hit that right on the head, man. And I think when I first started my job when we was in the program, I think I mentioned to you and I mentioned a couple of other people. I said, you know what? When I get to work, I'm not gonna make no friends at all. I just want to
Hmm.
work and go home. I said I don't even want to talk to nobody. I don't want to indulge in nobody at the workplace. I just want to be cordial and go home. And a couple of people asked me why not, and I say it for the simple fact that when you have close encounters with people and you build a relationship, especially at a workplace, then their problems tend to be your problems. Their thinking tends to be your thinking.
Yeah.
And you're not even inviting it in. It's just when you hear about it and you're actually working in it, now I'm starting to realize the negative thinking that they thought about. Oh, they did complain about that being on the floor. You know what? Now I start
Yeah.
noticing stuff being on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all about what you allow your spirit to take in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you actually have to shut the doors off to certain things because you know what may come in. And until you can just take that stance to be like, you know what, I don't even want to invite this spirit into my life because I want to be able to sustain and keep the consciousness that God gave me to move forward. So I'm going to shut this door to this because I don't want
Yeah.
nothing else to come in. But you got to be brave enough to do that. You have to be willing enough to do that and not be afraid of your own thought process, which kind of plays back on your point. You got to be sure of whatever you're thinking and know that you're thinking about the right thing in order to make that stance. Otherwise, you won't be able to move forward.
Yeah.
So so if someone is going through something and they coming to you with all this negativity, about their life, about where they at in life, but it's their reality.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how do you listen and then take what all the negativity and turn it into a positive, because all they're saying is negative, 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 negative.
I want this question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I also said before, I said this before. I don't mind even my brothers, my family members coming to me with the issues and the problems that they having. But don't come to me about nothing that you ain't willing to change.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Don't come to me with no problems that you not willing to change. If you're not willing to change, you keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
try to pour what you're going through on me, and then I'm offering my hand out to help you. We come up with a game plan, and you refuse to execute the game plan because you want to sit in whatever it is that you in. Now you in misery, and you just want company.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. And so that was a good thing that you started on, Mama. So with that, if somebody comes to me with it, I think personally, I'm gonna listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. Okay. Sometimes some people
Mhm.
just like to be heard. So some people just like to complain to themselves and want to hear them complain to somebody else, not necessarily to have any action to take afterwards. They just want to be heard. So it's okay with me to listen. But like Kendra just said, if we come up with a game plan and you're not willing to execute, now I'm just aiding and bedding in what you're telling me.
Hmm.
It's not becoming anything of it. And now at that point, before it gets out of hand, then that's when I'm gonna let you know, hey man, you know what? We talked about this yesterday. We talked about this today. Now I gotta safeguard my own spirit, my own thought process. Hey, after the day,
Hmm.
I hate what you got going on. I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna pray for growth past this because I know it's coming. But I'm sorry, I love you, but we can't have this discussion no more.
Hmm.
We can't talk about it
Yeah.
no more. Now, either you can take that, and now look at me as a bad person, and I'm okay with that. Why? Because God know my heart, even if you personally don't. And eventually He'll make you to where you understand it too. Now, this is where us people where we mess up at. We are looking for them to see where we come from right now. We looking for them to be like, okay, I understand what you meant 2 days from now. It might not be till 4 years later.
Right.
Hey, Darrington, you know what you said did kind of cut me deep. You know what I'm saying? I want to let you know that that did hurt me. It did offend me. But I appreciate you for telling me that. And I'm going to say I apologize and I love you. That's just where I was at in my life right now. I can't explain where God wanted me to be at for me to not accept that at that moment. You know what I'm saying? You have to trust and understand that everything is done for a reason. And it is what it is.
Yes, that's good. That's good stuff. And I'm glad, that actually goes right into our next topic. Let me drop a gem for the viewers. The best way to get negative people from around you is stay positive. They don't like that. But look, um, the next topic is, how important is it to protect your peace?
Mm.
Protecting your peace.
I'm gonna let Mama start this one off because she's the most graced person with going about this with all the adversity she done took on, and I'm gonna let her start this off because she's done had enough time to see how that piece comes and goes. But to allow it to sustain her, I think this floor is hers right now.
Yeah.
Okay, it protecting your peace. It is important to do that because it can, by not protecting your peace, can cause so much um, dysfunction, dysfunctioning in your space.
Yeah,
Um, you have to be able to say, "This is my peace place right here.
yeah,
I'm not going to allow that." And I'm the type of person. I could take a lot. I bear a lot. Um, whew, it's almost sometimes I wish I would have um, taken the mindset of protecting my peace today, like years ago, way
yeah,
before now, way
Yeah.
before now. Because it by allowing people um, to give so much of yourself and to interrupt your peace, your joy, um, it can cause some problems, some major problems in your marriage, your relationships. Um, I had to get to that point in my life, and I just regret that it took me many years to to push pause on all. You don't get to uh, take my peace anymore.
yeah,
Um, I watched my mother uh, go through, a lot in her life with her peace being disrupted.
yeah,
Uh, because again, she had sons and daughters and a husband that were addicts. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Man, protecting your peace is so important. But for me, is before I start looking at who's causing me to disrupt my peace, what am I doing to disturb my own peace? Am I being peaceful to me?
yeah,
Right. A
yeah,
long time I was the disturber of the peace.
yeah,
Right. I was the one that was self-destructing. I was the one that was causing myself so much drama and so many unnecessary things that I didn't have to go through.
yeah,
I was my worst enemy.
Yeah.
So as far as anybody else disturb my peace, it was me that was disturbing the peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, now where I'm at today, and now I'm able to have a sound mind, live a peaceful life, allow knowing how to approach certain situations in a peaceful way, and still show love, still be fruitful, still be obedient to the word.
Yeah.
I have now this I won't let nobody disturb. Right?
Yeah.
This I will protect. But before, I don't believe I had much to protect because I was causing it to myself.
Yeah. That's good.
That is good.
That is good. I like how you kind of made the reflection more or less based on yourself.
Mm,
Because for me, starting out, I think where I kind of lost sight of my piece, in which shout out to Lieutenant Matt in the program, my counselor. He was able to let me know I was a people pleaser. He said, Darrington, you're a people pleaser. Um, I didn't realize what that meant off top. I thought, what you're supposed to help and please people, But there's
mm,
a difference between giving out so much of yourself to where you're not taking nothing back in. And that could cause a disruption with knowing who I really am as a person, to where everybody else is feeding from me, but I'm not fueling me. So allow them to accept that. So there was a book that he gave me that was based on boundaries, setting boundaries. And I thought the book was so cruel, man, because it was kind of just explaining to how you can only give so much to certain people, and then you have to cut it off. But then it gives a definitive understanding as far as to why you cut it off, and it's for the more gain of yourself on the back end. You're still giving, but it's
yeah,
limitations to it. And I had to know that it's an art to everything that you do, man. And in order to obtain that peace for yourself, you got to learn yourself first. So you learn yourself first, then you know how to give in spurts. You know how to feed off here and there. You don't just give your all, and that goes all the way down to like what you said, Mama J, with relationships and everything. In order to safeguard everything, you have to give it a little bit at a time, but it also has to be reciprocated. If it is not reciprocated, then you're out of pocket. So that piece goes a long way with knowing how to cut people off in certain circumstances and limit
yeah.
people to certain access to your piece.
Yeah.
That is good. That's some good stuff. Y'all got anything else?
Man, we kind of took kind of told on a lot of basic different things, man. But I think these topics that we kind of touched on today, we deal with it on an every day to day basis, man. It's not nothing that is just
Yeah,
spoken of. I think we deal with it day in and day out, and it's a crucial point in today's society and knowing how to have a positive thought process, have to have a negative thought process, also how to love and have peace. I think once we all can learn to get on board with that, that'll kind of make the transition in life a lot easier. But it's gonna always be a constant battle, man. I think as the
yeah,
world kind of just grows and evolves into something a little bit great, we kind of lose sight of those small things
yeah.
um, that allows those small gems to be just as impactful as the
Hmm.
technology that's growing, as the money that's growing out. I think we losing sight of that, and everything is kind of a distraction. Um, and all we can do is continue to pray for everybody, continue to do what we're doing now to show the platform so that everybody can see the breakdown of the gems that are now being overlooked. You know,
Yeah.
so this is a
Yeah.
great.
Any last words, Mama J?
Yeah, I think if you're in a situation, and this goes for men or women, if you're in a situation where your peace is being um, destroyed or violated, then I don't care who it is, whether it's your spouse, your children, your relative. I think that is time that you should sit down and talk to that person and let them know that's unacceptable. Also, if you are in an abusive relationship, because you know, quite often people keep the silence of being in an abusive relationship, whether it's behind drugs, whether it's behind, whatever reason. I don't care what the reason is. Um, when do you say enough is enough?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when do you, become, when do you start loving yourself to the point where I've given all that I can give and I have nothing else to give and I'm not taking any more abuse?
Mm. Yeah.
That's good,
Mm.
man.
I've
And,
That's
extended,
good.
yeah, I've extended myself where I cannot be stretched anymore.
and that's great, man. And I just want to take the time to let the viewers know that we are not experts in these fields, man. We are just like you all, man. We are learning and
Right.
evolving every day. We're just giving you different perspectives on things that we've been through, and things that we're constantly enduring. Now, Kendrick, I know we get to the point to where it's about to be closed out, but before I do
Mm.
so, can I just read the verse that I currently have? It's Philippians 4:7, which is a verse that I use to kind of touch bases on protecting your peace, and it reads, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Um, Take that, fuel that for however it may be, and how it actually transcends into your life, and how it touched
Amen.
whatever downfall that is going about. Everybody is different, man, but love
Yes.
each and every one of you all. I thank you all, and it's only up from here, man.
Man, that was a success. Good conversation, man. That was some good topics, some good feedback, some good fruit, you know.
Yeah.
And man, that was great. That was great. And this was the first time, the next episode after bringing you part of the team and you becoming a part of the team. So I want to just say personally, I just want to say welcome to the team, Darrington. It's an honor
Thank you.
to have
Thank you.
you on the team and with the platform, man. We're gonna do some big things. I'm looking forward to what we got coming in the future, man.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you, and I love both of you, and I am
Love you
looking
too, mom.
forward where Scars Can Talk is where God is taking Scars Can Talk
Yeah,
um,
we
to
will.
change lives. Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Y'all, this Scars Can Talk online. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe. And
Check us
until next
out.
time, we giving fruit. We love y'all. See y'all later.
Love you.